someone said here that calisthenics has a huge toll on your joints. And I understand why people think that. And I know that for some skills, for example, the iron cross, you can definitely, there are people who are definitely strong enough to do that, right? But their joints are not adequately prepared. Yep. So just speak to us a little bit about, this idea of joint preparation as it pertains to calisthenic training.
Yeah. So I don't think calisthenics is inherently bad for your joints. All the underlying principles that calisthenics work by, all the exercise science principles that make it calisthenics work, they apply to weights as well. The only difference between calisthenics and weights is that you're using your body weight as resistance. I think sometimes that that calisthenic skills can be quite stressful on the joints. Positions where you're contracting in lengthened positions. So things like the back lever where your shoulder flexors are stretched and they're contracting. That can be a little bit stressful or unfamiliar for some of the tissues there that you might not get with your conventional weight training. Other than that, I think calisthenics is quite safe on the joints. So I don't think you have it's not a high impact sport. It's not something that you're likely to, get osteoarthritis with or get a flare up of that with. I think the problem is just the connective tissue, predominantly the tendons, ligaments around the joints, which might not be prepared for certain postures.
One of the things. Go ahead.
Sorry. That being said, the body is really good at adapting. That's how you get bigger. That's how you get stronger with weights. The same thing applies with these positions. I think if you take a gradual progressive approach, things like the back lever and the iron cross can actually be really safe.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I often remind patients of is the fact that the metabolism of bone and muscle is orders of magnitude quicker than is the metabolism of connective tissue, right? So you can heal, it's like you can heal, a muscle tear or a fracture within 6 to 8 weeks, but the connective tissue metabolism is like 9 to 10 times slower. So in order for, and so that is important when you're trying to rehabilitate something, but also when you're thinking about progressively loading something and making it stronger, and able to resist significant loads. You have to keep that in mind, because if it takes 6 to 8 weeks for you to, increase your muscle mass, then it takes 60 to 80 weeks to increase your the strength of your connective tissue to be able to resist certain types of loads. So I always like to remind people of that. It's like, you can be strong enough, you can feel like you can do it, but your connective tissue is not necessarily in line with what your muscles are capable of or what your brain is thinking that you should be able to do, right?
Yeah. And the point you made about with fracture or a muscle tear, whether you're training for performance or you're doing rehab, it's just a matter of where you are on the continuum of performance. Rehab is very low level, whereas it's all the same principles. You're just training with a different ability.